Welcome back to Laura's Design Studio. You guys have just seen my week-long series on doing projects with UV resin. There you go. So we're going to start something else. I have some molds that I have never touched. Yeah, they've never been poured. There's a couple in here that might have been poured, but I need them for extras right now. So I have some brand new ones that I haven't even showed you guys yet. Plus I have these older ones that have never been used. So today I made up 6 ounces of Craftor 1-to-1. They're split up into all these little cups because we are going to start off with my little molds that I have never poured. So let's start off with this one right here, which has never been poured, even though I see stuff in it. This is military molds. Now, I have never poured these. I got them through the Vine program because we live in a very military area. But I've never actually poured these. So, we have a tank, some walls. I don't know what all these things are, but we're gonna pour them. I've got boots, another little tank, word hero, honor and courage, be brave soldier, combat boots, and United States, I think is what that one says. So let's start off with these, because I am gonna make like a military tray. Now, I use these molds for like extras when I'm pouring and I use up my resin. That's when I do these, but I have a whole basket of little molds that I've poured that I take from to make up like trays and stuff like that. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's pour these military ones first. And definitely gonna want Green Day eye candy, and see those brick walls and stuff we can do with a bronze. We could even do black. I always do black, you guys know that. Let's see, let's get out some colors here. Sparkle bronze gold. I'm going to try and use some colors I don't normally use. I don't have a need for red or anything yet. Here's a bronze. Moss green's always good for military. Coffee. That's a little too bright green for military. All right, let's start off with these. And then we'll go from there. So, let's pour some little extras here. We'll do some Green Day. I poured in all these little cups so that I didn't get any flash curing and I don't have to work super, super fast. I can kind of deal with what I've got here. So, I think let's pour some of these first. Let's do Not surprisingly, my drawer with my largest molds, most of those have been poured. Trays, jars, stuff like that, I always pour that kind of stuff because that's the stuff that I enjoy doing. But I do like to have a ton of these little ones so that if I'm doing something specific, I can just pull out of things that have already been poured. But after this week, I'm going to bail out of Froggy Friday for a while. Not permanently, just for the moment, because I do have a bunch of molds that I have that have been sitting in here without being poured, and I need to start working with some more of the molds. Plus I have quite a few that I have down here that are sitting in a review pile because I haven't gotten to them yet. Just like one of the ones, which now I'm seeing you guys pouring it, those Halloween ones, the ghost and the cat on the pumpkin. I actually got, those came through the Vine program. I guess Let's Resin put them through the Vine program. Now, sometimes in the Vine program, we don't know what brand they are. That sometimes is a surprise. And I had no idea that those were Let's Resin molds when I requested to review those. And then when I got the box, I was like, I didn't order anything from Let's Resin. I opened it up and I'm like, oh, those came through the Vine program. So I guess they don't always give the brands, which is probably a good thing because you don't have people just picking and choosing over, over the expensive brands and stuff. I've got a few things that were very surprising at a brand that came through. Like one of the ones that I have sitting down here is the J. Diction brush on silicone. Yeah, that came through the Vine program and I had no idea that it was a J. Diction product at all. I was like, oh, I was shocked to see that. Because you don't always get the bigger companies putting stuff through the Vine program for review. Because they already have a customer base that that they pull from. So sometimes I'm really shocked at what comes through there. I've had especially lately, I've had a number of things come through that are name brands that I was like, okay, this one needs a little more. A lot of times we just get like a new company out of China that's just breaking into the market, stuff like that. Or like I've had a few times where it's the like that squishy kit that I always refer to as the worst review I've ever had to do. Yeah, they put it through because the reviews weren't very good, and well, let me just say they were well deserved to not be very good. So there is a company, a squishy company kit. I don't remember what brand it was, but it was labeled as a Taba, T-A-B-A kit. And you will hear me say, this is before I moved to this place. In my review, you will hear me say, buy from any other company except for this one. It was a disaster. Their squishy kit was ridiculous. I mean, it didn't cure properly. And I tried it twice. Then I got the same results. Because at first I was like, well, maybe I mixed it wrong. No, And then I usually don't go to the reviews that are already done, because I don't want to be biased about it, you know, if somebody's already reviewed it. So after the second time, I actually went and looked at their actual ad on Amazon. And sure enough, there were many other reviews on there, many, that all said the same thing. Well, they didn't say buy from any other company, but they were definitely customers not happy with their purchase. And then, you know, they contacted me to see if I'd be willing to review another one of their products. And I was like, well, you guys are not going to change my mind by sending me another thing. And at first they were like, oh yeah, we're going to send you another one, a different kit. But they never did, which was probably smart of them. Because I don't think in all of my time reviewing products on Amazon that I have had to give such a bad review to. Usually there's something I can say about it that's nice. No, there wasn't. It was disgusting. But that's what we're out there for, to give honest reviews, so yeah. They got one. Okay, this mold is poured. Put it up here. I will say, I don't know what company this one is, but this is a nice thick mold, like super thick mold. The mold itself is very heavy. So how many of you guys have molds that you have never poured? I have a whole drawer that I haven't even gone through, which I just dripped brown in there. Oh well. I have a whole drawer that I haven't gone through, and I know there's a lot of them in there that I haven't ever poured because they are the, you know, like the candy molds and stuff. So I know there's a bunch in there that I've never poured. So I just went through the first 3 drawers and pulled out any mold that I have not poured. Or maybe, like I said, I did pull out a couple that I need to make for extras for a project that I had in mind, but other than that, most of these are gonna be molds I've never bothered to pour. Let's see, here's a little one. Just gonna put some clear in this one. Here's some bronze. The house is quiet. David and the girls left to go meet my nephew and his husband. They usually come here, but today they're going to a swim hole. It's a Texas thing. It's a swim hole off the river. So they are going to go meet them there. Which means I can get some videos done because the house is quiet. So at the end of last week, you heard me mention, I don't know, it was Saturday or Sunday, that my son was bringing home a dog that he found at an adoption event. he did not bring him home. He's supposed to show up here on Monday. The people who were fostering him, I guess, have fostered him for like 4 months. And he asked David if he could take him home and gather up all of his stuff that he, stuff he really likes, and, say goodbye. So he's supposed to bring Ricky, is his name. He's supposed to bring Ricky here tomorrow, which is Monday afternoon. I told David, I said, it sounds like he doesn't really want to give him up. But he's been in foster for 4 months with this guy. So we'll see. Hopefully he'll show up here, because my son's really looking forward to him. We just have to watch him with the cats at first, because the guy said he's worked with him a little bit with cats, but my cats are not normal sized cats. They're dog sized cats. So he said he's never showed like, I want to eat you aggression towards cats. He's 2 years old, so he wants to play. And sometimes cats, they don't appreciate somebody wanting to play. But my cats have had no problem with any dogs, because they tend to not be very afraid, and they have, I told you before he had to put down his other pit bull, my cats had intimidated that poor pit bull to where she would sit by the door and cry when he brought her over to my place in Killeen. But she has been introduced to cats, and she wasn't aggressive, just she's 2, so she's a puppy still. She wants to play. Or Ricky, sorry. He wants to play. But he's already been neutered and everything, and the girls already want to put him in a pink tutu. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. But they said he was really good with kids, and my son had, 2 of my granddaughters with him yesterday, because they were getting their hair done for school. My oldest one, she wanted red, the color I used to have my hair, really red. Highlights in her hair. And then the second oldest, she has 2 like pink streaks in her hair, like bright pink streaks. So that is what they got done yesterday. So I only had 2 of them for most of yesterday. And today, they all left me. That's okay, because I'm sure that we will be spending this next week in the pool, because they go back home. They go back to Mom on it's either the 6th or the 7th. Because they go to school, they go start back at school that next week. Okay, that military one is done. Stick under this other one because it's not even. There we go. And it might be overflowing just a little bit. Okay. I think that's good. All right. Next. Those are the military. Let's do this little gecko here. There's a black something in. What is that? I don't know, but I got it off of him. Sticking my hand in. Something sticks. There, much better. We got them backpacks for school. Their school here in Texas is now requiring them to have clear backpacks and no exceptions. They have to be clear. You have to be able to see through them. And that's for all grades. Because there was a girl who got stabbed this past year. So my oldest one, Serena, she was required, towards the end of the year, they mandated clear backpacks. So she already had one because hers had to be changed immediately because she was middle school. And it happened at a middle school. Not her school, but a different middle school. And then they implemented that for all. They also, which I find hilarious, I've never, I can't even fathom why, but they're not allowed to bring Stanleys anymore, and not just Stanleys, any because now, you know, they got rid of water fountains in the schools, so they are required to bring their own water bottles, and they so now the girls aren't allowed to have anything that has a straw. I just think that's the craziest rule ever. Anything that has a straw. So now they're required to, because apparently some girl got stabbed by a straw to a cup. So now they're not allowed to have straws. But the water bottles they want them to have are the full metal with the metal screw tops. And I'm like, you can beat somebody's head in with one of those. They're worried about straws, but yet they're allowing full metal bottles. They're allowing metal and glass, but they can't have straws. So I got them their backpacks through the Vine program because they had released a bunch of clear backpacks, because I don't know, maybe all schools are going to that? I don't know. But they had a bunch, so I was able to get them clear, and the really nice backpacks too, like nicer than I thought they would be. My son and I were amazed at how nice these backpacks were. But because we figured I would just get them, and if they don't last, they don't last. But these are like the heavy duty PVC ones. Like, really nice. And couldn't find any water bottles. I wasn't, not, of course the ones with the straws were on there, but not the other ones. And David took the girls, they stopped at Goodwill because David was going to pick up some swim trunks and stuff, new ones for him, you know. So they came home with a bunch of stuff and threw it all in the washer, of course, you know. But one of the things they found at Goodwill was the water bottles, the full metal water bottles, and one glass one. But a couple of the water bottles that they picked up were the metal ones from Starbucks, limited editions. They paid $1 for them, and we looked them up on eBay, and they're going for like anywhere between $30 and $70 a piece. Like, score. So yeah, amazing. This one I think I've poured before, but I'll need one of these for a project. So my resin is thickening up. Not too much, but the girls were very pleased with their backpacks and their water bottles. I think next week they're going to shop. David's going to take them to probably the outlets here and get them some clothes for school. My oldest granddaughter, I don't know if you guys have these here. I had never heard of it until Serena, but it's a place here in Texas, and like I said, I don't know if they have them all over or not, but it's called Plato's Closet, and it's like a what they have are like high-end brands or like retro type clothing, And that's what my oldest granddaughter really likes. So the only thing she asks is if she can go to Plato's Closet, which, you know, you're gonna get stuff for a lot cheaper there. So yeah, she's already gone once, and she found, I don't know what brand they are, but they're these jeans with like all the rhinestones and stuff on the pockets and all that. I guess they're very, very expensive jeans. She said they go for like $150 to $200, and David, she got a pair at Plato's Closet for like $20. I mean, they were cute. They're barely, I mean, you can't even tell somebody's worn them. A couple things she got had brand new tags on it and everything, so yeah. But she doesn't like shopping in regular stores. She wants to go to stuff like that, which is nice. I mean, thank you, you know, for saving some money here. I'm just shocked because most girls want they want all the high-end brands and all that stuff. And here she is. She's like, no, Dad, just take me to Plato's Closet and I'll pick out the clothes I want. So David, I said, don't argue with her. Don't argue with her. That's what she wants. Let her have it. Because he was like, are you sure you don't want to go get some new clothes? And she's like, no, Dad, I just want to go shop at Plato's Closet. Now, the other ones, they're different. I swear these girls, the other three, not so much the second oldest also. She's kind of in between. But the two little ones, oh my Lord. They are bougie as hell. And if you've been with me a while, I may have told you guys the second to the youngest, the school made a whole new dress code because of her. True statement. The way that before David moved out, the way that it had always worked is, you know, David got the kids up, made breakfast for everybody, made everybody's lunches, made sure all the backpacks had all their stuff in it, along with, you know, make sure homework's done and all that good stuff. Well, the second to the youngest, and then he would leave and take Serena, my oldest one, to school. Or before we were down to one car, he would bring her to me and I would take her to school. But the second to the youngest decided on a couple of occasions that she would walk out of the house with an oversized sweatshirt on. And her mother is a teacher at the school, so I don't understand how this ever happened, and neither does David. But she would, after he left, she would go change into some, usually her younger sister, Briella, who's 6 years old, she would change into some of her shorts, booty shorts, which, you know, were about 3 sizes too small, and go to school like that. And then, of course, when she got to school and out of, you know, So the school actually made a new dress code that the kids weren't allowed to wear those oversized sweatshirts because of my granddaughter. Yep. True statement. David was not amused. Lisa thought it was funny, and I'm just like, that is not funny when your kid is the reason. And believe me, when I would, because there were certain times where, especially when Lisa had to have surgery on her foot, and so I would go over and pick them up and take them all to school. I always did my usual checks because I know what these, especially Haley, my second to the youngest, the kind of crap she would pull. So before they got into the car to go to school, I would look through their backpack and not make sure we had toys, because somehow they were smuggling toys to school. Again, because they weren't checked before they left the house with Mom. So I would recheck backpacks. I would also make sure that the second to the oldest, the only one I never had to worry about was my oldest, Serena. She's a very conservative dresser. She doesn't like to show skin or anything. But the second to the oldest one doesn't like to wear a bra. And yes, she's at that age where she requires a bra. So Grandma was doing bra checks on her. Doing checks on the second to the youngest, Haley, because I had to check her clothes to make sure that she had on proper school attire. And then the youngest, I had to check for underwear because she doesn't like to wear underwear. Yeah. So before they got in the car to go to school, Grandma did all the checks and made sure we didn't have inappropriate stuff. And yes, they would still try and get away with it. And I would be like, nope, not getting in my car. You're not going to school dressed like that. Or you're not going to school with all that shit in your backpack. No. So yes, they need to be supervised when going to school. But now, with David and I living down here, it's going to be up to Lisa to do all those checks. So we'll see how that goes, because she can never even make it to work on time. Nope, she had the police called on her twice for a welfare check because she didn't show up to school because she had let the alarm go and turned it off instead of giving it up. Yes, so, we'll see how this goes. She should be back from El Salvador sometime today. I guess late tonight. So but we will see how that goes with them. Okay. the colors that I for this first one. So I'm going into a bunch of different little molds here. Yeah, when David told me they held an assembly and changed the dress code because of Haley, I was like, what? He's like, yeah. And Lisa's a teacher at the school. Yeah, so that's I mean, we even on summer before, you know, they go back to school, we always make sure she has appropriate clothing on, because there are days. She had on a pair of shorts the other day, and I just looked at her and I said, those are not your shorts. Those are Briella's. And she's like, no, they're mine. And I said, the hell they are. Go change. I said, why'd you insist on wearing shorts like that? She said, because I have nice legs and I like to show them off, and my butt's pretty good too. Like, yeah. And at age, see, what is she? Ellie's, she's 11. 11? 10. She'll be 11 this year. She'll be 11 this year. And she's been doing this since forever. Alright, I'm going to mix up another color. Let's see. I know this is going to be a long video, guys. Only because I'm doing and I'm going to start really moving because it's getting thick. This is cobalt blue. Pour some clear into this one, push everything towards the base down here. Okay. There's that one. Let's do, let's see, do we have a, I know I have a sunny gold somewhere. Here's a yellow gold. Just do that on the floor. Glad it had a lid on it. It looks like it did. That's a good thing. Wait. Put the lid on this before I spill it. I just saw. It's a piece of resin. these in these little bitty areas. And the easiest way to do it is to put it down and scrape over it. You'll have some knockoff, but it'll be really thin, so easy to come off. Let's see. Okay. Down to 3 more cups. Resin down in these tiny parts right here. I woke up this morning doing this to try and keep my mind off off how much I'm in pain. My entire Definitely not liking life this morning. Okay, let's see. That was too much. Let it settle down in there. It's getting very thick. That's okay. If nothing else, I will dump it into the drip mold that's sitting over here to the side. That last week I didn't add anything to because I was doing UV resin. The only thing I dumped in there was extra glitter that I didn't want to put back in a little tiny bag or anything. Because you guys know I don't really use glitter. If I do, it's like the ultra fine stuff, which Craftor gave in their kit. Thank you for not sending me chunky glitter. Thank you. Okay, I have got these left. And oh my lord, we are thickening up quickly. I'm just gonna put this in. I can always use markers and paint them a different color. So I'm just gonna use up what I can. I am going to put the rest of this color in here. Rest of that color and the rest of this color. This shell has all kinds of stuff in it. That one. Let's see, what else do I have sitting over here? Actually, let's do some firework right into this one. Oh yeah. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, let's do this heart. Yes, I know these are the wrong colors, but I can use markers on them or paint them or something. And I just stuck my hand right in the mermaid tail. Good job. Okay. And no, I'm not allergic to resin. That's why I don't wear gloves. Oh my Lord, now I'm just getting clumsy here. We're gonna mix this because this is not all the way full. And wash my hands down with alcohol. Okay, much better. Oh, let's see, do I have another small? Here, I have got this heart bulb that I haven't used. And one last color. Okay guys, I'm gonna dump the last of this pink into the shell mold over here. And then we will be back on demold. Talk to you soon. Welcome back. Let's demold. Now I just now turned off the heat mat, so these are still really warm. But we are going to go ahead and try and demold this stuff. And then I'll just leave it lay here. So I guess we'll start off with these. Get this mold out of our way. Ooh. Wind fly. Now it has overpour, but I'm gonna have to wait to get that off. Because right now they are definitely warm. Oh, that one pulled. I was able to pull that one off. So there's that one. That one had some pink and some red in it. This one was just red. Yeah, a little bit of it off. So that one was just red. I think this one is just pink. This is where the resin was so thick here at the end that yeah, when I turned on the heat mat, it loosened up, and that's when it overflowed a little bit. There are the hearts. So now we can say this mold has been used. I'll have to get all the crusties off of it. Lord. Let's do these little stars. These will have to be cleaned up a little bit. Again, I make these little things, and then I just have a big basket of small, you know, pre-made, so that if I'm doing a tray, I don't have to pour a bunch of stuff. I can just pull out of my pre-made stuff. And if I don't need this color, then you can always color it with your paint pens. Little stars. Oh, I just broke off that one. That's what I get for being impatient and not waiting to get rid of the overpour. There's that little one. And here is the moon. I'll have to clean all that off of there. Here's this little skull. There you go. Let's see. This is part of that, like, Mardi Gras set. I was wondering what that noise was. Bear is underneath trying to get into a small box. Yep, luckily he's the smallest of the cats. Did you get in there, Bear? No? Okay. Here's the raven skull. Here's this little gecko. Be careful with the thin part of his tail here. There we go. Let's faces. Oh, that's a drum. And this is top hat. I didn't get a whole necklace out of this. It was too thick and didn't get down in there. I'm gonna have to peel pieces out of there. Okay, that one didn't work. It was way too thick. Let me get the pieces out of here. Yep. Looks like the rest are okay though. Try and get the gestures hat out. There we go. Grab this. That little necklace though, that'd be great for characters. There's another mask. And the fleur-de-lis. A little seahorse. Oh, it's mermaid tails in 2 pieces. It missed a connection in there. There that is. Here's a smaller one. And the starfish. Gonna need cleanup, but there's another mold down. Here's the rest of this. Oh, this is like a poker set. There's hearts. I know they're not the right colors because I was trying to just get stuff poured because it was getting really thick. All you gotta do is change the color with your markers though. Your paint pens. I have straggly sticking to me. There we go. This is the deck of cards. Dollar sign. Gosh, over pour sticking to me. Another dollar sign. There's that. Okay, that one's done. Here's the big mermaid tail. There we go. I love that cobalt blue. It's so pretty. There's that. And now, I don't want these touching each other because they're still soft. Make sure we've got space so they can harden up. Now we've got the military stuff. So there's a tank. This one says bravery and courage. No, honor and courage. Honor and courage. This one says brave soldier. Oops. Can't hold on to anything. It's like a dog tag. We have United States. Have the word hero. And combat boots. Last set of things. Ooh, mold is hot. Mold is hot. There's a tank. This is like the brick wall. I think this is the thing that goes on top of a tank. Like gunny. I think that's what this is too. For this other one. Yeah. So here's the other tank. There is the brick wall with the eagle. Not sure what that one's for. I'll have to ask my son. And there's that one. And the last one is this one. So we used 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 molds, 13 molds. 13 molds that I had never used before. Nice. Now, like I said, don't think this is the end of it because I got plenty more. I've got molds sitting over here off to the side that I've never poured. And molds sitting back here that I've never poured. And that's not to mention the review molds down here, and I still have an entire drawer of like the candy fondant, like the candy molds that I know there's quite a few in there I've never poured, but we'll get around to it during this week. I will talk to you guys in the next one. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. Hit the black bell so that you know the next time I upload a video. And by all means, check out the discount codes in the description box. There are some good ones, including some promotional links for Bond Crafter. One is half off. The other one is 30% off of the 2-gallon kit. So, go get you some. Talk to you soon. Bye.